I just won't bring it up.
We just need to talk about something. Let's focus on the present. Let's focus on the here and now. Can we please?
How about the Stanley Cup playoffs?
Woo,
What's your
man.
take on the playoffs this year?
I this playoffs is awesome.
Hmm.
They're awesome. I
Yeah,
love the chaos. I love chaos. Let's put it
and it
that way.
all started with
And it
Boston.
all started with. By the way, please play that PSA. Please, I beg of you, play that PSA.
Let me find it and I'll play it.
Do
But
it, do it, do it.
it all started with Boston. I mean, just I can't find the damn thing. I don't know why, but it's not. It's here. I know it's here. You being up in New York, originally from Jersey, what's your hatred for Boston like? Or dare I ask such a question?
I wouldn't say it's hatred, so to speak. It's just
Hmm.
an annoyance, especially over
An
the past 2 decades.
annoyance.
And especially over the past 2 decades because of everything going on with the Patriots. As a Jets fan,
Oh Lord,
I haven't
I'm
had
sorry.
my. It's okay. Well, the thing of it is, like, look at it. I've been a fan for, gosh, over 40 years. So most of
Right,
my life, good
right.
majority of my life. So in the
Mm.
80s, it was seeing Miami all the time, being successful a whole lot. Then you had the 90s, the Bills. Then you had the
Yes.
2000s, the 2010s with the Patriots. Sometimes it's I want the 2020s to be our time, our time, where we go to the playoffs consistently. Our
So
team
how
goes to
does
the playoffs consistently, and our team goes to the Super Bowl eventually. I would like to see it once in my lifetime. So
how does that happen? How does that happen? That this
let's
time
see.
is the time of the Jets.
Let's see. Well, they had the defense to do it.
That they do.
Right now, I guess right now there's a rift between. I won't say a rift. It's a small rift because of it's a contract, a new contract between Quinn Williams and Jets management. Some
Oh
say they're
God.
close to an extension. Some say they're far apart. I don't know who to believe. I personally don't care.
So
Just sign
why
him, man. Give him
why
his
don't they
money.
just you're
Give him his
right?
money.
Why don't they just pay him and get it over with?
I think part of it is just Joe Douglas learned so much from Howie Roseman and from Ozzie Newsome about how to build a team, not
Yeah.
overpay players.
Hmm.
Because as you know, there's a thing called the Jets tax. Pre
Yeah.
Joe Douglas, there was the Jets tax where they had to make
Yes.
an impact, they had to make a splash in free agency, and no matter who did it, who's the GM, uh, whether it be Mike McCagnon,
Oh God. Mike
or
McCack.
Idzik or John Idzik or
John Idjit.
oh my gosh, that guy gutted that team. That guy
John
gutted
John
the Rex
Idjit.
Ryan's teams. Oh my gosh. But I think they had the tools to do it.
Hmm.
They have the elite defense. They've got top 10 defense. They've got uh, young core of players who want to
Yeah.
be there and want to play and with each other and want to win with each other. It
Right.
just took a it just it's the quarterback situation. Always been the quarterback situation. They haven't had a franchise quarterback
Since,
since you know who, Broadway Joe, of course,
of course,
and the carousel of Jets quarterbacks who have come through this system. And again, play,
the only
I
other
think I
team
think
that's had a worse carousel of quarterbacks than the Jets
is the
would be
Cleveland
the
Brown.
Browns.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and by what's the brew this morning? I know it's Invader Coffee, but what's the
Well,
brew?
no, actually, it's not Invader Coffee. I got a free like little bag of coffee I put in my French press this morning. It's a Mexican blend. It's pretty good.
Can you send me a bag of coffee, please?
I did.
Please.
Well,
Huh?
I sent you $25, but
I had to put
towards
it in the
towards a,
I had to put it in the tank
okay.
because wife was running short on gas and hubby had to ride to the rescue and I had to get a few groceries. So could you
Understood.
could
Understood.
I had to help take care of the house. So
I'll see what I can do.
when that when that came in, when that came in, and I thank you for your gift, and I'm begging for another one right about now. When that came in, the wife came home that evening, and I went to get dinner, and I took a look at the tank, and I'm like, uh oh, this ain't
Mm.
good. and it was an off skit. It was an off. It was not a pay week, so
Understood.
had to take care of the honey,
So
and I will take care of you, and I will take care of you, my friend, with
The
this.
following is a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
Boston.
This has been a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
I'm Ryan McCarthy, and I approve this message. So I've got a question for I got a question for you, Snowman, and I got a question for our friends in the chat. So
All right.
I had the, not say luck, but just the chance to have a sign on to HBO Max. Now it's called Max or whatever. And
dear.
yeah,
I'm
and I
sorry.
started. I'm not the one who's paying for it. So
Okay. I can live with that.
So I went back and I started watching old South Park episodes. I also started watching old episodes of Anthony Bourdain, who I absolutely loved until unfortunate end in 2018 or 2019.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about this. My sister and I were talking about, we were watching an episode of Anthony Bourdain, No Reservations. And that's part of the reason why No Credentials Required is called No Credentials Required, because it was a tribute to that show.
No reservation. I love it.
Right. So, a question for you, Snowman, and a question for the rest of the chat. If you had one sports destination that you've always wanted to attend or go to, whether it be past or present, what would be that destination and why?
Candlestick Park.
Okay. For what occasion? Or just for just any old game, or just for a particular game in general?
Two things. Any old game, and January 10th, 1982. The Catch. Or January 1990, when they bludgeoned the Rams. I would love to have been there. I would love to have been there for that. That would be my number one destination. Would be Candlestick Park.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I would have been there for the 1991 NFC Championship.
The Giants,
because not because the 49ers lost, but because that game was I loved that game. It was one of the greatest games. I know for your 49ers, it was unfortunate end at the with the game-winning field goal by Matt Barr, but to see to watch that game in person.
Yeah, I have much love for Big Blue, for Bill Parcells and the Giants, because they used to terrorize our asses all the time.
He's up in my area during the summers.
Really?
Yeah. He loves Saratoga. He loves the racetrack. He loves the golf course. We have a national
nice.
We have a national style golf course up there, Saratoga National. But he loves it up here. He loves
Do y'all have a racetrack up there?
Horse racetrack.
Nice. Very nice.
It's one of the oldest in the United States.
Let's welcome Kuram Mari Arku 3 to the chat this morning. I like the Mavs, Thunder, Cowboys, and Rangers, and he'll give us more.
Hey, my co-host is in the chat.
Dustin Henry in the chat. I should have been at Quest Field for the time of Beastquake against the Saints. You know where I was with that game? I was on a road trip, and I was doing basketball that entire weekend. I lived in Gary, Indiana at the time, but we went down to Indianapolis. So it was like a big trip for me with the pro team that I was covering. And they said, we have 3 games. We're going to pay you for all of them. We're going to feed you. We're going to house you. I'm like, cool. I can live with that. So I drove to where they were meeting, went down, and then I was getting updates on that game that Dustin talked about. Man, everybody on the team was wanting updates because the game kicked off while we were in the second half of our game, of the third game of the trip. Second half kicked off, and everybody was looking at my phone for updates, and then we saw that run by Marshawn Lynch, and we all were like, game over.
It's done. It's over.
We packed up, drove back. And that was the end of the trip. I live in Dallas and was born in OKC. A question for this fan right here: what is OKC fandom like? since y'all got the team? I want to ask a true OKC fan that question.
Yeah, I'm curious about that
I hear
too.
tag along in the back.
Yeah, he's here. He's
yeah, it figures. Honorable mention to Wrigley and Camden Yards. Look, Dustin, let me save you the trouble.
I have a story about Wrigley.
You have a story about Wrigley? Okay, hit me. What's up?
I have a story about Wrigley. So,
okay. Oh, boy.
No, nothing bad. I was just I 2011.
Okay.
I had a chance to go to Chicago in 2011 for a chaplains conference for Hockey Ministries International, and I stayed a day later because I wanted to attend I want to go to a Blackhawks game at the United Center, which is an experience. It's awesome.
Yeah,
it's an awesome experience.
Yeah,
it was a preseason. It was a preseason game too. So even in the preseason,
they're loud.
United Center's packed.
They're loud.
And I love the fact that they applauded during the national anthem. That was awesome.
Started doing that in 1991 during the All-Star game.
So I decided to no, it's not a Cubdom experience segment. Sick.
Stop.
Brought to you by
drinking laughter for that.
This coffee with McCarthy is brought to you by Nurse Anastasia's Incense. For when you have the blues, for when your team loses, for when your teams lose, trust in Nurse Anastasia's Incense.
Oh Lord!
But I had the chance to visit Wrigleyville because I just figured it was I had some free time before I flew back to Albany.
Yeah.
And I stopped at Wrigleyville. There was no games going on because, of course, it's the Cubs. And I went to a pub, had some lunch, had a couple libations, walked around Wrigley Field for a bit. And you know what was happening that night?
What's that?
It was a 25th anniversary screening of Ferris Bueller's Day Off at Wrigley Field. And had I known that my flight was going to be delayed for 2 hours, I would have stayed.
You'd have stayed
and watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off in Wrigley Field.
One of the best movies.
And caught the train back to O'Hare so I can make my flight.
Yeah. A train ride to O'Hare is an experience for me.
I don't have many regrets in my life, but that was one of them.
Why was that a regret? Or dare I ask?
Because I love the movie. I love that movie. It's a great movie. And
how can you not love that movie?
Yeah, and the fact that Wrigley Field was showing that movie that night in the park would have been a bucket list experience, and I just I'll have to wait for the 40th anniversary.
Mr. McCarthy.
Oh, stop, Vic Allah.
Listen, I agree with Victor. You don't want to go in that joint.
Why not?
Even though they've refurbished it, even though they've sort of rebuilt it, even though they pushed the plunger and got rid of the troughs, it's still raggedy.
Ooh, I remember going to the Carrier Dome. They had the troughs. Ugh. It was 2009. They still had the troughs.
What?
Yeah,
in the Carrier Dome.
At the Carrier Dome in the men's room, they had the troughs, and I'm like, I'm not peeing in there.
No, hell no.
Gross.
I can't do it.
No.
I experience.
Am I an animal? No, I'm a man.
I experienced the troughs. I experienced the troughs in two stadiums, Wrigley Field and the Metrodome. And I got to share this story. I was with the Indiana Northwest, and we had a baseball spring break series for the Metrodome, scheduled for the Metrodome in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I had 3 of these full of Coke during the first doubleheader.
So we were wired for sound,
and then some. They kept bringing me Coke. They kept bringing me water. And during the break, in between games, I had to go to the bathroom. I went in said bathroom and saw troughs, and I'm going, why am I in Wrigley Field again? That's when I got a press and said, "Oh, we got bathrooms up here in the press box." Good.
Praise the Lord.
Just
I'm not using those troughs. Yeah, I haven't been to. I haven't been
That's
in the
the
Carrier
only
Dome
time
since,
that's the only time during my stay in Minnesota that I had to deal with the troughs. Other times I raced down the press box
Ugh,
to one of the executive bathrooms.
why? Why troughs?
If there
We're
was a
men. We're men. We're not animals. We don't deserve troughs.
no, we don't. We don't deserve troughs, man. What's the grossest stadium? And I pose this for you and the chat. What is the grossest stadium you've ever been in? And I mean gross all over.
This is a tough one.
Oh, your top 3. Let me put it that way.
The Forum in Montreal was pretty gross. I loved going to the Forum, but it was just
right.
I wouldn't say dilapidated, but they kept it updated during the years. But let's just say I'm happy the Bell Center's around. Old Yankee Stadium had that kind of gritty vibe to it. I wouldn't say it was gross, but it was gritty.
Yeah.
And same with Shea Stadium. Because I want to go to Fenway Park to experience that grittiness. I just haven't had the chance to yet. And I'm only a 3-hour drive from Boston, so. But yeah, and Old Yankee and Giant Stadium too.
The old one.
The new one, the MetLife Stadium is sterile. It's so sterile.
How did y'all host the Super Bowl at MetLife Stadium?
I have no idea.
How did they choose MetLife Stadium?
Because they had promised a Super Bowl to New York after 9/11. That's why.
Oh God.
And
I understand I understand the sentiment. I do. Listen, I get the sentiment.
I get the sentiment too, but having it in a stadium that lifeless and sterile, and no.
When I watched the 49ers and the Jets in 2020, I specifically paid attention to that game, not just because it's the 49ers, but I wanted to see what a crowdless MetLife Stadium was like. And I kept looking at that joint, and I'm thinking, no.
That was the game that Nick Bosa and Solomon Thomas busted up their ACLs.
Tore up his knee. Solomon Thomas tore up his knee. We lost
Jimmy Garoppolo sprained his ankle.
His ankle, and that turf at MetLife Stadium is awful.
And they replaced it too.
Yeah.
They finally replaced that.
So many people got injured that year.
Yep.
So many people got injured that year. Wrigley Field, historically gross trash, and I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna argue. And this is for you.
The following is a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe,
Boston.
This has been a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
All right, I got to do it. What team?
I played that PSA last week on No Credentials Required. By the way, tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. It was a universal consensus among our panel that yes, F Boston.
Do you have an extra seat available? I'll join you tonight.
Sure, come on by. I'll
join you tonight.
Yeah,
I'll join you tonight. Jody should be home. The only reason I didn't join last time when you invited me, Jody came in. She was really, really tired, and she still has a bad knee. So family came first. I'd make sure she was all right. And by the time she was settled, because she had a hard time settling down because of her injury, you had already signed off. And it's like, doggone it, I missed it. But save me a seat tonight. I expect Jody to be in early.
Will do.
I expect her to be in early. Ryan McCarthy joining us here on the program. Before you, what PSAs would you give besides the obvious?
The following is a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe,
Boston.
This has been a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
Oh, you know locally who I would give a PSA to. Uh-oh.
Let's hear it.
All right.
No, I'm here. Let's hear it.
All right.
The following
is public service announcement
from Ryan McCarthy.
Tony.
This has been a public service announcement from Ryan McCarthy.
Because here's what happened. They hired another head coach. They let him go 5 days. 5 days. 5 days after they hired him, they said, nope, we're done. Actually, no, what happened was that he became an advisor to the team. Then they supposedly had hired another head coach who was a head coach in the league, in the National Arena League in 2021. And he decided, nope. He decided, nope, not going to do it. I guess he's a defensive assistant with Iowa in the IFL right now. But he said, nah, not going to do it. So they're having a current player coach the team now.
Oh God. So they actually told him,
You're out. You're out. You're out.
Or he told Tony, Antonio Alala. Oh, supposedly he's going to play on Saturday too.
why?
I don't know. This whole thing is such a mess.
From a franchise on the cusp of a dynasty to a toilet team.
Mm-hmm.
All because you hired Antonio Brown. Yipe.
Or was it Antonio Allah? We're not sure.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Thank you, Mr. Bass. Albany football fans are asking the exact same thing. Yes, I know. Tag along. Jeez.
See, your cat reminds me of the cats that I have, because all three of them, Pumpkin, Binks, and Winnie, will be outside this. Will be outside this door. If I have the door open, I'll hear them. Where is he? There's Tagalong.
Hey, buddy.
Tagalong has been making his presence felt since the start of this segment.
Yeah, he's like, stop talking about Yo Kang and stop talking about Tony Brown.
Me and Hawk TV are gonna have a fight. If Hawk TV, I challenge you. If you're still
Line
around,
line brawl.
The following is a public service announcement from Brian Snow. LeBron.
This is a public service announcement from Brian Snow.
This segment is brought to you by Clearwater Laxative and Colon Cleanse. When things get muddy, Clearwater is your buddy.
I didn't know we had hydrocolonic. I didn't know we're having a hydrocolonic sponsor this segment. Jeez.
I mean, thanks, Sick Diggy, for that.
Thanks, Sick.
With all the.
I don't know how they do things in Norway.
I was talking to Victor about this on Saturday. You know, all these joking ass got started with penis water.
You're welcome.
That's how they all got started. That was the first one.
You gotta put me out with that, Snowman.
I don't know if I have it here, but
oh no,
I don't have it. I don't have it, unfortunately.
That's unfortunate.
But I do have this.
This moment of bronze sexual stupidity is brought to you by Hooked on Bronix. When you start talking like an idiotic bronze sexual, Hooked on Bronix can set you right. Call 1-800-YO-KANG. Real LJPN. Now approve all this.
That's courtesy of Victor.
By the way, Ray, if you're out there, we're thinking about you, buddy. Well, most of us are thinking about you, and we hope you're well. We hope you're well.
Hope you're well.
Most of us hope you're well, as a fellow human being and just a concern.
Hope you're well as a human being. Hope you're dying in your fandom as a Faker fan.
Womp womp.
I'm sorry. No, I'm not.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
No regrets. No regrets.
I got no regrets whatsoever. That's Ryan McCarthy joining us as he does every Monday. Oh, man. Had fun as always. No credentials required. 8 p.m. tonight. Who knows? The Snowman may make an appearance. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate the time.
Take care.